Do you want to know why women lose interest in you? Why she told you you're so sweet and then never replied to you ever again? Why she lights up for the guy who barely texts her back but goes cold on you even when you give her everything? Let's talk. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Emma and I'm a feminine embodiment and relationship coach. And I'm going to tell you the truth that most women won't. You've been trained to be soft, to be agreeable, to do everything right and ask us what we want, to make sure that you're not too intimidating or toxic or intense. And guess what? It makes you completely unmemorable. Because here's a secret that nobody's telling you. Women don't want a man who blends in. We want a man who stands the fuck out. We want a man who makes decisions, who leads, who knows who he is and isn't afraid to show it. A man we can trust to hold us when we fall apart, not a man who falls apart with us. You've been told to be her friend, be her supporter, her mirror. But if you're showing up like her best friend, guess what? You're going to be treated like one too. In this video, I'm giving you everything most women only admit in private. The things we crave, the traits that turn us on and off, what makes us feel safe to surrender, and what makes us lose interest instantly. So if you want to stop getting ghosted, if you want to finally feel like the man in your love life, if you want to attract a woman who's feminine, radiant, and emotionally open, and keep her, listen closely. Starting with the most important point first, you need to make us feel safe, not just protected. There's a reason that some men can just walk into a room and every woman's body softens. Why he doesn't need to say a word and we feel so drawn in. It's not money, it's not looks, and it's not status. It's his energy. We feel safe in his presence. And it's not just physical, it's emotional, energetically, and nervously. We can relax around him. We don't have to be on. We don't have to perform. We can feel messy, emotional, tender, and he stays grounded. That's what creates trust. That's what creates chemistry. That's what makes us want to open sexually and emotionally. So, speaking from experience, I'm going to give you a real life example. I once cried on a date. It wasn't even about him, just something came up. He got so uncomfortable. He awkwardly changed the topic, tried to crack a joke and just grabbed the bill. Like the whole night was over. And I left feeling like a burden. And another man, same situation. He reached across the table, held eye contact and said, "Take your time. I've got you." He didn't try to fix me. He didn't check out. He stayed. And that moment stuck with me for years. So if you're wondering why women don't trust you and why they don't let you in, ask yourself, can you hold space for emotion without trying to fix it, shrink it, or run from it? If not, then that's your starting point. Because our body won't soften for a man who can't hold us. And we can't surrender for a man who crumbles when we express emotion. You need to lead. We're done with leading everything. I want you to imagine this. So a guy texts me, "Hey, what do you feel like doing tonight?" And what do I feel? Immediately dry. Dry as the Sahara Desert. Repelled, turned off. And I actually don't even care if he's hot. I don't care if he's smart. That one question, it tells me that he wants me to lead this interaction. And I'm already leading in every other area of my life. I lead my work, my fitness, my healing, my calendar, my social life. I don't want to plan the fucking date too. If you can't take charge of an evening, how the hell are you going to lead in love? Now, compare that to this text. Dinner, Friday, 7 p.m. I've got a place that I think you love. I'll pick you up. My whole body relaxes. Also, it's sexy as fuck because he's decided, he's thought about me. He's given structure so I can drop into my softness. And let me be crystal clear. This isn't about controlling. This is about creating safety through direction. We don't want to dominate the masculine. We just do it because we have to, because men have forgotten how to lead. When you lead, we can finally exhale. We can show up in our feminine. We can feel taken care of. And that turns us on more than anything else. So if you're still texting, what do you want to do? Please stop. That one sentence tells everything we need to know. Okay, number 3 is a bit of a long one, and most women will probably say this isn't the truth, but it is. If you're passive, we'll actually walk all over you and then we'll resent you for it. Let me say this straight. If you don't lead, we will. Not because we want to, but because someone has to. And when that happens, we actually slowly start to resent you. We start to lose attraction, we stop feeling like your woman, and we actually just start feeling like your mother. And you might think that being chill and going with the flow makes you so easy to be around. And what we actually experience is a man who just avoids pressure, avoids leadership, avoids risk. You're sort of shape-shifting just to try and keep us happy. You say yes to everything. You never challenge us. You never bring your edge. You're just there. And here's a real life dating example. I actually once dated a guy who never has an opinion. If I said, let's do sushi, he said, cool. If I changed to Italian, he said, sounds good. If I told him I didn't actually feel like going out, he said, whatever works. At first, I just thought he was being kind, but over time, I actually realised he was just afraid to take up space, afraid to disappoint, afraid to risk me not liking his choices. And I started to feel like I was dating air. No substance, no direction, no tension. Now, contrast that with a man who says, I love sushi, but I know a fire Italian spot I want you to try. I'll take you there next time. Confident, clear, leading, but still connected. That's magnetic. Being passive might feel safe, but it's not attractive at all. It makes us feel like you're outsourcing your power. And if you won't own your power, we'll never feel safe enough to surrender to ours. So stop trying to be the agreeable nice guy who just keeps the peace. We don't want a yes man. We want a grounded fucking man. A man who tells us no. A man who calls us out when we're acting bratty, chaotic, disrespectful. Not from anger, but from a calm, anchored, masculine presence. A man who says, no, that's not how I'm going to be spoken to. I don't tolerate disrespect, even when you're upset. You're out of line right now. We'll continue this when you're more regulated. And means it without flinching, without backing down. Because here's the truth. Yes, women do test men. And we test because we want to feel that you're solid. We don't want to be the boss of the relationship. We want to be the flame, not the fire extinguisher. So if you're bending to avoid conflict, if you're saying yes just so we'll like you, you're not creating harmony. You're killing polarity. We don't want a man who follows our emotional waves. We want a man who anchors them. We want to feel your spine, your direction, your decisions. We want to know that if shit hits the fan, emotionally or practically, you've got it. You won't collapse. You won't chase validation. You'll hold the fucking line. That's what creates safety. That's what turns us on. That's what makes us respect you. And without that, yeah, we might sleep with you once. We might even date you for a while, but we'll never surrender to you because you never gave us a reason to. Okay, point number 4, you need to initiate. Stop asking for permission to be a man. So this one's going to hurt a little, but it's why so many guys are stuck in the friend zone, or worse, the ignored zone. You're waiting for permission. Permission to text her, permission to make a move, permission to lead the interaction. You're always watching for her cues, but never bringing your own. Let me say this clearly. If you can't initiate, you're not in your masculine. You're in performance, in fear, in strategy. And we feel it. Here's what initiation looks like. Hey, I've got a table for us Friday night. I want to see you. You in? Simple, bold, direct. Or in person, instead of hesitating when there's tension and asking, can I kiss you? Huge ick. You lean in, you pause just before, you let the moment breathe, and then you claim it. That shows confidence. That shows presence. That shows you trust yourself. If you're waiting for her to do everything first, to flirt first, to text first, to plan first, kiss first, you've already lost the polarity. Masculine energy initiates, feminine energy responds. If you don't initiate, we just assume that you're not interested, or worse, that you're not confident enough to handle us. And yes, that applies even when we like you. If you don't lead, the attraction just dies in silence. Point 5, we want to be ravished, not tiptoed around. Let me give you one of the realest truths about feminine women, and most will actually never say this out loud. We don't just want sex, we want to be fucked. Not disrespectfully, not carelessly, but like you need us. We want to be craved, pinned down, touched like you've been thinking about it all day. We want to feel like you can't resist us. We think being respectful means playing it safe. But when you hesitate, overthink, and constantly ask, is this okay? You're not making us feel respected. You're actually making us feel unwanted. And yeah, don't get me wrong, consent is everything. But if you're in your head asking permission every 10 seconds, checking in like it's a corporate survey form, you're not connecting, you're not present, you're not with us. Consent isn't about talking the entire way through. It's about being so present and emotionally intelligent that you're reading our energy. You're watching how we respond. You're in tune with our breath, our sounds, our body, our words. You notice when we're open, and you notice if we shift or we pull back. That's how you lead with confidence and care. But the biggest mistake men make is trying to be nice during sex. We don't want soft, awkward strokes. We don't want, just tell me what you like. We don't want you asking, can I kiss you? When we're already giving you every green light in the book. We want you to read us, to lead us, to take us, to say, you've been teasing me all day. I'm going to make you pay for it. You're mine tonight, and I'm not going to be gentle. I want you on your knees now. That is sex. That's what turns us on. That's what makes us wet before you've even touched us. That's what activates the deepest parts of our feminine, the submissive, the sensual, the wild. And if you're not doing that, if you're not initiating, if you're not leading the sexual energy, if you're not making us feel wanted, we start to feel invisible. Let me say it straight. As women, we want to feel sexy. Now, of course, we can absolutely access that within ourselves, but nothing compares to feeling desired by a man that we're attracted to. We want to be looked at like you can't contain yourself. We want to be touched with hunger. We want to feel that primal, I need to have you right now energy. Compliment us. Tell us we're beautiful. But more than that, show us. Back it up with action. Pin us to the wall when we walk past you in a dress. Pull us in and kiss us mid-sentence because you just couldn't help it. Reach for our thighs under the table and let us know that you're thinking about later. That's what makes us feel wanted. And when we feel wanted, we open, we surrender, we'll give you everything. But if we don't, if we feel like you truly don't want us, the relationship just starts to feel like a friendship. And that right there is one of the biggest reasons I've ended relationships in the past. If there's no desire, if we don't feel that sexual chemistry, that spark, that claiming energy, we don't want to have sex. We don't fantasize. We don't crave you, we just switch off. And while some women will stay, high value women won't. We're not here to settle for comfort. We want to be met emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. And let's be real, if our needs aren't met, our heads will turn. And it's not because we're disloyal, but it's because we're women. We're wired for intimacy. We're literally biologically designed to want connection, passion, and sex. We're made to be touched, wanted, taken. So if you're not making her feel desired, if you're not fulfilling her needs sexually, excuse the pun, someone else will. Not because she's heartless, but because her body won't lie. Not because she's heartless, but because her body won't lie. You want to be unforgettable in bed? Stop being polite and passive. Start showing up with confidence, direction, and masculine hunger. Because when a woman feels that kind of presence, she'll become the most sensual, magnetic, wild version of herself just for you. In short, fuck us like you want us. Okay, moving on to point 6. Make our life easier, not heavier. Let me just say this straight. If you're not making her life easier, you're actually making it harder. A high value woman doesn't have time for more hardship. This one, it's so simple, yet so overlooked, and it's so damn important. We're tired, mentally, emotionally, physically. We're running businesses, going to work, healing trauma, booking our own damn therapy, looking hot, and keeping it all together every fucking day. And now, you want us to lead the relationship too? Nah, we don't want to manage you. We don't want to baby you. We don't want to guess how you feel. We don't want to carry more chaos just because you mean well. Here's the truth most men don't get. We are not impressed by how busy you are. We're not turned on by your hustle, your 16-hour grind, your calendar full of meetings. We are turned on by how calm we feel in your presence. Because real masculine energy brings order. It brings rhythm, structure, stability. And no, that doesn't mean you're perfect or that you never have a bad day. It means you know how to handle yourself. Let me give you a real life example. So I once dated a guy who was constantly figuring things out. Every plan was last minute. He'd show up frazzled. He vented to me more than he actually flirted with me. One day he was all in and the next distant as hell. Emotionally, he was all over the place. And eventually, I actually felt like his emotional coach, not his woman. Compare that to a man who sends a text like, "You've had a long week, don't worry about a thing, I've got us covered Friday night." Or, "I booked the place, I'll pick you up, just bring your smile." That energy, that leadership, that thoughtfulness, I melt. Honestly, I melt. My nervous system relaxes, my feminine energy starts to rise, and I actually want to be around him. Because when you make our life easier, we want to give more to you. We want to nurture you. We want to love you. We want to cook for you, kiss you, spoil you, ride you into next week. Because we feel safe enough to let go. That's what devotion looks like for a feminine woman. We give more to the men who carry things with us, not add to the load. But if you're just another drain, another man-child with no plan, no direction, no spine, we're done. Even if you're nice, even if you're trying, even if you say all the right things. Because here's what you're missing. Masculine energy isn't about doing more, it's about being solid. It's about making the energy feel better, making the decision, holding the frame, creating ease. You want to stand out? Don't be the guy who sends, "What you doing?" Be the man who texts, "I've got Friday handled. All you need to do is show up and look pretty." When you do that, we feel safe. We feel soft. We feel like we can finally stop being in control. That's when we want to submit. That's when we want to spoil you back. That's when we feel turned on just by being near you. Be the man who brings peace, not pressure. Be the calm, in our chaos. Be the one we want to lean into, not the one we have to clean up after. Because trust me, if you make her feel safe, supported, and soft, she'll make you feel like a king. Last but not least, point number 7, you need a clear purpose, or we'll never fully respect you. This might be one of the most important ones. If you don't have a purpose, we'll never fully trust you. We might like you, we may sleep with you, we may date you for a while, but we'll never fully surrender to a man who isn't anchored into something bigger than us. You are not supposed to make us your purpose. We're not here to be your life goal. We're here to walk beside a man who already knows who he is and what he's building. Because masculine energy needs mission, direction, vision. If you're unsure, floating, waiting for a woman to give your life meaning, we'll sense it. And it will make us feel unsafe, even if we can't explain why. Now, most women won't admit this, but we secretly want to come second to your purpose. And it's not because we're not important, but it's because we respect a man who's anchored into something deeper. A man who just drops everything for us. It sounds romantic until we realise he's actually lost himself trying to keep us. That's when we'll pull away. That's when we test you. That's when the fights start over nothing, because we can feel that you've put us on a pedestal. That pedestal feels unsafe. If you want us to respect you, devote yourself to something. Create a path. Chase a mission. Be so clear on who you are that whether we come or go, you keep walking, because that man we trust, we follow, we surrender to. So now you know, we don't just want another nice guy who does everything right. We don't want another yes man who agrees with everything we say just to avoid tension. We don't want another emotionally unanchored boy hoping that we'll validate his worth. We want a man who's solid, who's sovereign, who leads. And if that triggered you, good. Because I'm not here to flatter you, I'm here to wake you the fuck up. This is the reality. The world is full of passive men who follow more than they lead, men who do the right thing to avoid criticism, men who shrink their masculinity so they can be liked instead of respected. But those men, they don't activate the feminine, they don't create desire, and they don't get surrendered devotion. Because deep down, whether we admit it or not, we crave masculine leadership. We want a man who can lead the day, lead the energy, lead himself. A man with a purpose so strong, we respect him more than we need to be prioritized. A man who doesn't fold when we test him, who doesn't flinch when we're emotional, who doesn't need us to tell him how to be a man, because he already is one. If this hits something in you, if you're realizing that you've been too passive, too polite, too forgettable, then stop scrolling and tap the link in the description. You don't need another podcast. You don't need more nice guy advice. You need to become the man who leads, fucks, holds, and builds. A man with a spine, with presence, with purpose. That's the man women crave. That's the man we surrender to. So don't just watch this video, act. Click the link, step into your edge. Like the video, subscribe, and drop a comment on what landed the hardest. But most importantly, tap the link. Start the work. You weren't born for approval. You were born to fucking lead. And if you're not leading yet, you know exactly what your next move is. Let's build you into him.